Well, I'm watching 4 cameras right now on the demonstrations. It's all pretty peaceful. It's like good for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So far, so good, man. I like it. I like it. I do. I if that's what you want to do to get change incorporated, then do it. Well,
There's another way of getting
I
back at them. Sorry, Bob. You carry on. Sorry.
oh, I just wanted to say that what the president did to deploy the National Guard and the Marines is I'm in favor of what he did because historically in Portland, the federal building downtown Portland was firebombed for months, and they lit the building on fire 2 times with the employees in there.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
what he
that's
was trying to
dangerous.
prevent. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, use federal assets to protect the employees inside of those federal buildings, and I think I'm in favor of what he did because I watched the guardsmen, the Army Guard, and they're just standing in front of the ICE detention center with their shields. And the Marines showed up at some place like that, and there was no confrontation between any demonstrators and the military because they know the military is not there to arrest you. Yeah, ching ching pow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And say you throw a rock at us, you'll be graveyard dead.
Exactly. They brought these huge batons that would shatter your shoulder blade, and but no confrontation. I thought it was worked out pretty well, really, and I understand why he did it.
I don't think it's stopped yet there, Muhammad.
No, it's still going on.
Yeah.
This is what they show on TV. There's a couple live streams. I forget which one it is. Mike knows. There was there you go. There's a live. There's a YouTube channel that live feeds all the local cameras from certain regions of the world.
Yeah.
What's going on there? And I was watching it. He was playing it the other night. He had it live streaming off through him, and I was watching it. And then it ended. The sun came up, and then no more explosions or that you could see. But I think that was the Ukraine-Russia one that I was watching. But it's still out there. They Mike, post that if you know the. I know you got the YouTube channel. Post that YouTube channel up so people can at least tune it in later and see what the hell's going on.
I agree, Mel. Yeah, sometimes get something stopped before it started is the best thing to do, really. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Mike, your mic is muted.
That's why I'm talking to myself.
It's moving, but nothing's coming out.
There you go. That's the one that I was using. This is. I'll put the link in the chat now. It's Inquiz X or something. Inquiz X or something. He's got all of them. Yeah.
Oh, let's take a look at that.
Yeah, it's got like anywhere from 4 to 7 live cameras running at any given time. Some of them are. Some are
11 tonight, Mark. 11.
Wow. It's wow. Some of them are
That's
not
a lot
labeled.
of cameras.
You don't know exactly which direction it is, but usually in the description box they tell you which ones are watching what.
So I mean, he's really good because I looked for the different cam sources like on the different sites and stuff like that, and I've done it a few times, like when the Iceland volcanoes are. But most of them were shut off when I was looking, but he managed to find a load. So I don't know where he's getting his sources from, but I'll trust that now.
Oh, that only posted on your channel. What was it? What's the name? I'll pull it up and post it on Jaren's channel here quick.
Hang on, it's okay. I've got let me pull it up. There we go.
Yeah, I'll go back to what I was saying a moment ago. If Mrs. decided to go drive through Portland, I'll take a couple of days and chill and then approach her. And for such a smart woman, that is a really stupid thing to do.
Yep.
The only downside with these live streams is the amount of politics that's just flashing up on the chat. And some absolute crazy people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with those.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I streamed it, I just set the chat to members only, because I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to see everything else the rest of the world is chatting about.
No. It's just they come in there and just post their flags and shout their agenda to everyone. It's like,
Yep.
Okay, good for you. Goodbye.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Oh, Mike is enjoying a nice
That's
collection
awesome, Emily.
of Cabernet.
A 2010 Armado Tempranillo Reserve.
Oh, Mardek? Malbec? What is it?
No idea. Do you know why? Because I didn't buy it. It came with the house. It's a Spanish.
There you go.
It's a Spanish red.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'd enjoy
free wine
me.
when you buy a house.
On it, because we're clearing the house. Obviously, it's like it's a bit sad that no relatives want any of the stuff, sort of thing. But there was a whole liquor cabinet, and I'm like, the open stuff that can go away, but the sealed stuff, I think I'll hold on to it.
Or drink it.
Well, yeah.
Cheers.
Testing it.
That's it.
Yeah, just testing.
He'll be like, this is really good. And he'll go to the liquor store tomorrow to see if they have any more. And it's $900 a bottle.
I Googled it and I couldn't find it for sale anymore. Sold out everywhere, but it was £60, so about $70, $80.
Now? You could have sold it for more.
Well, it's not available anywhere, so I think I might be.
But you could have sold it for more.
I might be drinking an investment here.
Well, if they don't sell it anymore, the price would
usually
go up
it's sold out. And sold
pretty good on that.
Yep.
Well, from what I'm watching 4 cameras right now, Mike, and looks like there's no violence on any of them. I'm really happy to see that. These are ordinary people getting out and demonstrating, and yeah, good. Glad to see it.
I mean, I don't want to be that pessimistic guy, Bob, but that's how they all start, right?
Yeah,
Start.
we said
That's correct.
Oh,
Usually after
false
the,
alarm.
After
You can get it for $20, by the way. I've just found it.
You're right about that, Mike. Usually after the sun goes down, people tend to think that they're invisible, and they
Good
can.
evening now.
Or they're not part of the initial protest and nothing. So over here we had protests going on after a Southport incident over here, and the protests were relatively peaceful, but then kids just hijacked it and used it as an excuse to smash things up and set fire to things.
Yep.
So then the whole protest gets a bad name, but there weren't even anything to do with it,
Don't use this place as a toilet, mate. Piss off.
Uh-oh, Dear Love's yelling at somebody.
Let me see if there's anything close to my home. I'll do a search.
I don't know if Dear Love's yelling at his dog or at the neighbor out the window.
I think it's somebody outside.
Piss off.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We're all going to sit quiet and see what else we can hear now.
The distinct sound of a crossbow cocking.
Yeah, that's scary. Don't do it, man. Think about tomorrow. Don't do it.
My wife asked me the other day, she's like, what would you do if you were on a live stream with one of the people you do all over the world and one of them literally keeled over dead? I'd be like, there's really nothing I can do because I don't have their phone number. I don't know what state, city, town, country they're in to call 911. What if they say, hi, I'm over here in America and I just watched a guy keel over with a heart attack over in Europe somewhere. Can you help him? They could be like, get off the phone.
Yeah.
Well, I've got specific instructions to Mrs. Urban Prepper. If I keel over doing any sort of video, make sure she uploads that last video.
Exactly. I made the mistake of telling my wife when I'm out at the farm, because I go by myself, I'm on the tractor. I said, if she tracks my thing, we got the iPhone, whatever it is. And she decided to pull it up one day when I was out there, when she was at work with the other nurses. And she looked and she's watching. 45 minutes go by and my dot didn't move. And she literally, she's calling me and texts me. I'm on the tractor. I don't see the phone ringing. And eventually I have to look at my phone. And she was literally ready to call the state police to do a welfare check on me because I was in the field pushing trees over and the tractor wasn't moving more than about 15 feet in any direction, so it didn't show movement. And because I told her at one point, I was like, hey, honey, if you pull them up, where's my iPhone, whatever, and you see the dot not moving for about 45 minutes, just call the meat wagon. Well, she didn't like that. And she took that to heart, unfortunately. And now
Well,
look, just don't worry about it. I'm sorry
yeah.
I said that to you. I didn't mean it. I was said it more of a joke, but
Yeah.
she freaked out. I'm like, okay.
I didn't. When I
look
did
at
my
the-
hike across the Pennines, I didn't take any tracking whatsoever, and there was no signal. So she said the same thing, like, well, how am I going to know if something happens? I'm like, well, I won't come off the other end. So if I don't come out the other end...
Yeah, I'll try to stay within a half a click of the string. Oh, but, you have to look for me. I'll be somewhere, maybe.
Bob, you remember
well-
that link I sent you on email with the do it DIY things with a W?
I did. Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. Very
That is-
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking it's a good prepper stuff, actually. Do DIY things. I can put that link in here in the chat as well.
Okay. Well, I used to work with an Army Ranger who went into Special Forces when I first hired in with Boeing, and he told me that the Rangers would take 55-gallon drums full of gasoline and pour in an entire box of Tide detergent and mix it all in, and then put a Claymore mine behind it. Boom.
Ow.
And just yeah, I guess they range control came out to see what the hell they're doing, saw it was a bunch of Rangers, and somebody got their ass chewed out for it, but they don't with Rangers, they're maniacs, man. They're guys you don't
Is that
want.
like homemade napalm or something?
Correct. Yeah, you take Tide detergent and mix it in with gasoline, and the soap kind of turns into a gelatin just full of gasoline. And
yeah, sort of like melting styrofoam in gasoline. Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Don't try this at home, kids.
No.
Yeah, don't do that at home. Don't leave that alone.
There's all kinds of concoctions you can make up, and I won't bring up any of them only because I don't want to ruin Sharon's stream here.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do, but I'd rather avoid situations. Just see a problem over there, go around it. If at all possible. Yeah.
Turn back the other direction and find another route.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me ask my wife where she's at. If she went to Portland, I'm going to put a size 12 boot in her little brown butt, man.
Well, it can't be too bad yet because the police haven't called you yet because you're an emergency contact saying,
yes.
She's in jail right now for using her sidearm.
What's that?
For using her sidearm. She's in jail right now.
No, oh God, let's hope not. I'll just ask her, where did you guys go? That's all. Mike, my son's an amateur photographer, and my wife asked me last night. She sent me a text last night from work. Let's go to these so-and-so falls, waterfalls. So I looked up where it was at, and you got to go from my house and then go drive through the city of Portland, Oregon, and get to those falls. And Portland, Oregon is the center for Antifa and extreme radical violence. And I said to her, I said, no, I'm not going. There's different places right near the house you guys can go. You don't have to go to another state to take pictures.
Yeah. I would avoid the city centre in that case. Was there no route round, or were that too out the way?
No, because Portland, Oregon is right on the Columbia River, and you could kind of go around it, but no. She did say that they're not going to go there because I-5 might be blocked off. I said, that's good thinking, hon. Just I'll find out where she goes, where she went.
Peace journey. No, the Claymore. The Claymore was the igniter there. It's just accelerant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asking for a friend. Yeah, sure you are.
As he's reading the back of the detergent box.
Yeah, do not mix with petrol. Yeah. If you do, stand back at least 50 meters when you have a Claymore go off behind it. Yes.
Oh, you want to get way away from those things. They're naughty, front and back. Yeah, they're naughty, man.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is Daryl there?
No, I think he's out there yelling at the neighbors still, unless he had a...
Well, yeah, I just caught this guy just peeing in my front. Got in my front of my flat.
Oh, that's when we heard you yell, "Piss off!"
Yeah, we were just making sure you were there and not out scrapping with neighbours or something.
Well, I did go outside.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I did have a go at him because he should know better. He's a delivery driver.
Oh, so well, I thought it was going to be somebody walking home from the pub or something.
He's not coming home from the pub, stuck late at night, whatever. He's some guy on a push bike. He's come here from wherever he was. He said, then he's got the cheek to say, "I live around here." I said, "Well, why didn't you use your toilet? Why is he coming to using my flat as a toilet?" These people do society today. They do a wrong thing, and then if you say anything, you're out of order.
I had an Amazon driver do the same thing. There's a big space between the two houses across the street from me, and his truck was parked in between the houses, and his side door was open, and he was nowhere in the truck, and I didn't see him around, so I kind of walked over, and he came wandering out of their bushes. I'm like, seriously, dude? Well, I was just looking for an address. I'm like, in the bushes? I said, and you're still tucking your pants in? Come on, man.
It's what he said to me. It's what he said to me that got me annoyed, and that's why I went outside, because he called me some really bad names.
That's
I'm
not
thinking
necessary.
you're doing the wrong one. You're doing something bad, and then on top of that, you do something more bad. You're having a go at me instead of saying, "Oh, sorry, mate, I was busting to go." If he at least said that, I would have said fair enough. But then to call me all the names under the sun, and I've gone out there, and I've opened the door, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to come in now," and because you've opened the door, I said, "You're not even coming in. Move back." He's like, "No," he's adamantly standing holding the door. So I pushed him back, and my dog came out as well at that moment. So then I brought the dog back inside. I said, "I don't want my dog to get in trouble. Get back inside." And I confronted him. I said, "Don't use this place as a toilet. Don't come back here again." And I said, "Get outside." And you ring him again.
Did you get the delivery company? Did you get the delivery company name or anything?
I should have done. I was just really annoyed at what he said to me.
Yeah.
But then maybe I need a bit of anger management.
You now.
Yeah. For me, I would have just said, "Hey, man, I couldn't hold it no more. I apologize, but that's the truth. Either this or I'm going to pee my pants." Yeah.
Now, Bob would be like, "I'm not on meds. Your plants will appreciate it. You're good."
Yeah, because it's not bad for the plants. That's true.
Yeah, sadly, today we're living in a world of entitled people. I'm entitled because I'm a consumer, and we can do what we want.
Everyone's got this air of self-importance, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I need to be saved first. The Titanic syndrome, I call it. I need to get to that life raft first. I need to get past your car and get further than you. I need to get in front of you in a job position. I need to get in arms race. We hear it all the time. People say, "Don't talk about politics and religion," yet all they bombard us with is politics and religion.
And here we are, dear love. You're starting to talk about politics and religion. So anyway, back to normalcy bias and general public resistance to prepping. Are you ready? I'm just keeping you on track, dear love. That's all.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
That's good.
Well,
Just got annoyed there with the guy, and then when I got annoyed, it just brought back other things, and then it just started. Well done for keeping me in check.
All right, I got you. We love you.
Yeah, we're as far as the end of that. Are you ready? Yeah, we're doing pretty well here. But you guys know I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm going to plan on getting a couple more things. I'm supposed to get my first Social Security check this month.
Okay.
Oh, you're old. Wow.
I am old. You bet I am. I'm 63.
You must be 217 years old if you're getting a Social Security check.
Yeah, just about. No, man, I'm getting my SSI at 63. Because most guys don't live past 70, so get it as soon as you can. But yeah, a couple niceties are going to come back, and then I'm also this month I didn't spend any money on providing stop the bleed kits for the churches. I instead bought some additional fire extinguishers and fire blankets.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So with this next check coming in, and I'll feel a little bit richer, and I'll buy some more stuff.
You'll buy 2 cups of coffee at the coffee shop.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Well, yeah, summertime. Check on the Filipinos.
Yeah, it's summertime, and all the ladies are wearing short shorts. So,
time to get some.
Yeah, I might need a second cup. Yeah.
What was that a double take? When you said short,
maybe
shorts,
a third.
Did you mean to say short shorts twice, Bob?
Yes, I did.
Or are they short shorts?
They're short shorts. The ones that have that little half moon butt cheek hanging out on the back. Yeah, a lot of the customers.
I nearly got whiplash today. I drove into Manchester and Heaton Festival's on, and I just didn't. I ended up just looking at the floor of the car because I thought this is going to get me in so much trouble.
I'm a bit of a oddity because, my wife and I, we've been together for 20 years, and once in a while I'll go, God, hon, look at the butt on that one, and she'll just go to this click. Guys.
They're all the same. Perfect.
Yeah. The only time she gets jealous is if it's another Filipina. Then look out, man. That's when the horns come out. Yeah. That's why there's a lot of. I'm with the Filipino people online here, and Kuya Bob, will you buy a membership? No. I wish I could, but if my wife finds out I'm sending money to another Filipina, not good. Yes, sir, not good. Like Icy, she's a Filipina Japanese, and I'd like to be a member on her channel, but ooh, that's risky, dude.
Yeah. Your missus would probably sneak up behind you, Bob, with a flip-flop and...
She might.
Yeah. But this time she attached razor blades on the flip-flop.
Nails, oh my gosh. No,
that would hurt.
I meant to say, oh my gosh, forgive me.
I've missed, obviously, the first couple of hours, but you're talking about general public's resistance to prepping. Do any of you think that's going to change more with the current climate, the way it is, with the conflicts we're seeing all over the place? Do you think it's going to improve?
No chance. People are last-minute shoppers in every sense of the word. You look at Christmas, you look at birthdays, you look at everything like that. It's a lot of, especially nowadays, because it's convenient to use your phone. Everything's quicker, but you never know on that moment when you really need that device, whatever, if it's going to be working. If you've put all your eggs in one basket, it might not work.
Yeah. I just thought at some point the government might pull the finger out and actually, issue some advice.
Well, I let me give you an answer to that same question. I think here in the States, there's a lot more people who are choosing to put some food and water away. I really do. I get hints here and there by going out talking to people. There's hints that people are starting to wise up a little bit, especially after the CV came through. Some folks are putting stuff away, and I hope more people do that. I really do.
Yeah.
But I got a message back
as well.
I got a message back. Mrs. did not go down to Oregon or Portland, Oregon. They stayed here in Washington State and went north instead. So, bravo, Mrs.
Yeah. There we go.
It's in your history to sort of be preppers anyway in America.
It is.
It's
yes, it is. Yeah.
It's also part of history of a lot of countries where people prepped back before refrigeration and before electricity and stuff.
Yeah, that was a different kind of prepping. That was seasonal prepping. You can and preserve your harvest to get through the winter into the next harvest. That was always the standard rule. Now you're looked at as a wackadoodle if you do something like that. It's like, you got the store, go buy it at the store.
Grandmothers out there, grandpas out there, they still do it. There are grandmas, grandpas that still do it. that till this day, there's people that still do it.
Because it's common sense.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
it is common sense.
The people who've got the technology and the money, it's easy. That's why you got all this ready-made food. There's rows upon rows in the shops. They make all kinds of meals: pastas, rices, curries, carbonara. Everyone just whacks it in the microwave. 30 seconds later, bing, it's ready. But
that's what I was talking about earlier before you all got on. Jaron heard me. I was at Sam's Club last weekend, and I go in there to get specific things that I use, and I just wander through the aisles to see, okay, what do they got these days for rice, beans, things. And there was a couple, and it was a husband, wife, young, I guess, husband, wife, but they were talking sort of quietly as I'm looking at the big buckets of pickles and stuff. And he's like, one of them's like, so how many bags of beans do you think we should have? And one of them's like, I don't know. And I literally just walked over and I said, look, I only heard one word. I said, I don't know you. You don't know me. But if you're doing this to like prepare for whatever, I said, really, how are you going to eat rice and beans every night for 6 months? I said, yeah, they'll last, but you're going to get sick of it really quick. I said, look at the canned goods. They got, stuff it doesn't expire for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I had a quick conversation. I said, I don't want to know you. You don't want to know me. I said, I'm just letting you know you might want to think a little more than just rice and beans, because that's what every prepper channel out there says.
Yeah. Good advice to them. Yeah, good. That's what us older folks are here.
I think they thanked me. Mm-hmm. I think they kind of half followed me around for the next 15 minutes, looking to see what I was buying. Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, I'm just getting a case of water and a salad mix for my wife and something else. I wasn't buying anything prepper related. I was looking at stuff, but I already have everything I need.
Yeah, good. That's a smart of you. That's what us older folks are here for, to advise the younger ones who haven't been through so many things like you and I have, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it's about.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm flattered you said you and Mark, and you put the rest of us in the young category. Thank you, Bob.
Hey, well, except for Durlov. I think Durlov's older than all of us combined.
Just a bunch of snot-nosed kids,
Well, Bob is 9 years older than me, anyway.
So. Yeah, so I got a few years on you guys.
Couple of years on me. I'm next oldest to Bob. I don't know about Durlov, but
I'm not sure.
I think he's in his 90s. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
we could, dude. Your microphone must fall down or something, because we can barely hear you talking there, Durlov.
What about now?
That sounds better.
Good. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yep.
Be right back, guys. We got something to do here.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I stopped the Sam's Club shopping and that for big stuff, unless I need something, in which case I'll buy it. But other than that, I don't need this giant bulk items and stockpile it somewhere. I got more than what I need now to probably get me and my wife through a few years with my kid, or one of the kids, two of them, and have many show up, and a friend or two. So, but I just keep making more stuff. I love my freeze dryer, so. I know.
One day.
I know, but sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to shove that down your throat. Like, bastard, these things cost a bloody fortune over here.
Yeah.
Maybe downsize and have one car instead of two, just to get a freeze dryer.
Yeah, sell that electric car quick. Oh, that's right. It's not yours. It's the company's.
It's the company.
You got to figure out how to hook up to that thing to use as a power source. If something happens, power goes out. There's got to be some way to.
So this one's bi-directional charging, so I can go and plug it into somebody's Tesla and take some of their power. But I've got the 4-gang extension, so it literally goes into the same charging port that I'd charge the car up on, and it runs out. It's a long enough cable to reach from my car into the house, and I've got 4 full power sockets there.
Nice.
So
that's nice.
It's. I mean, when people joke, "Oh, a prepper with an electric car," I'm like, I've got a 60 kilowatt power bank parked next to my house, and a diesel 4-wheel drive vehicle that Mrs. Urban Prepper drives. So I'm covered.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good here, but I really do hope that more people will even just listen to what we're sitting here chit-chatting about. Think about it, get some food and water put in, a bare minimum a few days. Many people don't have that much, but when I first started gathering up some food, it was every time I go to the market, I get a couple extra cans. Every time,
Yeah.
if I need to go over there for whatever, I'd stop in, get 2 more cans, and it got to the point to where, like, my daughter was a vegan at the time, and I asked her, "What are your diet requirements?" And she said, "Cans of beans, Dad. Any kinds of beans. How about dried beans?" She says, "Any cans of beans." Okay, so
Okie dokie.
yeah. If she wants to come back home, and I still got that stuff on hand. Just a little bit at a time.
The stores do it for you, right? If you're going to go and you want to buy 2 cans of beans, but there's a multi-pack of 4 or 6, get the multi-pack. The others will last. Yeah. They will go in the cupboard. Just every time you go to buy one, buy the multi-pack.
Yeah.
As long as and Susan here says people are more afraid of ridicule than prepping to survive. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, that attitude will soon change after the fact.
Hey, Warren, good to see you, brother.
That's a fact. Yeah. If something serious goes wrong, and you'll be the hero instead of the zero.
I bet we can all count on more. Can't count on one hand the amount of people that will think when it happens, "Oh, I'll just go to Mike's house or Bob's house because he's got everything."
Oh yeah, we talk about that all the time. I got lots of friends who tried to say that. I'm like, no, I won't be there. What do you mean? Where are you going? It's like, I'm not staying here.
Yeah,
I've been warning you all for years.
That's a good answer, Chef. I've used that answer myself. I had a lady in the coffee shop, and I mentioned to her a little bit about this, kind of feeling her, see if she's into this. "Oh, well, I'll go to your house." "No, you won't. I won't be there." Yeah, that's a good answer for him.
Yeah, where are you going? I don't know, but I won't be there.
Have a note ready outside your door. We're not here. We've gone
fishing.
Yeah, gone fishing. That would be a good one. Yeah, we've gone out for the day.
Gone to buy toilet paper.
Yeah,
that'd be a great one. That'd be
a
good one.
A cryptic note that won't go anywhere for your family. So if you come to my door and you see a sign up that says, "I've gone to Sam's Club, won't be back," that means I went to Robert's house in the next town over. If I went here, if I say I'm going here, just have to give them a list of places you say you went, but that's not really where you went. It's just a cryptic way of telling friends and family where you are, so they can come to you, instead of the riffraff going, "Oh, he went to Sam's Club. We'll wait. He'll be back." Let's find him.
On the other foot, though, does that not advertise an empty house that they can then kick the door in and have a look around?
You're there, aren't you?
If I've already left, I don't care what they do at the house.
You're leaving notes.
Yeah, well, if I had to leave my house for some kind of catastrophic reason, there's a high probability I ain't coming back.
Yeah, High Country Homestead left a good comment. It says, "Never too late to start."
Yep.
Good comment. Very good comment. Yep.
Best time to start prepping was 10 years ago. The only time to start prepping is now.
The only time it's too late is 1 minute after the event.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then it's not prepping. It's panic buying.
Yeah. Get the stuff before something happens, okay?
Correct.
That's the best option and best method to do it, okay?
Yeah.
As a 6 months after an event, you're sort of friends. You're getting along with some of the neighbors and that. And everybody keeps to themselves, but you talk to each other and communicate. And after 6 months, they're eating rice and beans, and they come over to get some seasoning or something. You're outside eating an MRE 6 months later, and they're smelling this going, "Holy crap, dude, what is that?" "Oh, it's chicken cacciatore." "Really? Where'd you get that?" "I made it 12 years ago."
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I had it was on a live with Bonnie and Virginia Roots and people like that here in the States. And I've never met this lady before, but she was in a panic about the recent events, protests and all that. And I've been in martial law in the Philippines 5 times, and I was talking about that, about what to do, what not to do, and this lady almost went into a panic attack. I don't want that. And it took a long time to talk her down. Virginia and I had to speak with her. If martial law or curfew occurs, that's the time that you chill. Stay home. Don't. But when will we fight against them? Well, when we fight back. I'm like, don't. Especially during martial law. Martial law don't show any threats at all. You will go down.
Yeah, definitely, and you go down fast too.
Real fast, yeah. But it was an interesting half an hour or so to try to get her to calm down, catch your breath. Martial law is scary, but as long as you comply with your orders, you're going to get through it. Well, how long will it last? And I said, well, in the Philippines, the whole country was on martial law for months, and then it was reduced down to just the island of Mindanao for about 5 years, because that's where the Islamic population lives, and they were looking for these certain groups of those folks. But still, just comply. That was the best advice I could give her. Just comply with your instructions. Don't do anything foolish, And if you feel like you're going to panic, grab some water and chug some water and take a breath, and you'll be all right. You'll be okay. That's my best advice about martial law to you guys, because I've been through it. It's not fun. I don't want to do it again, but you can get through it.
Yeah, as long as you do the right way.
Yes, follow your instructions.
Hopefully you're prepared enough to not have to go outside during a martial law, sort of martial law time.
They say prep, pray, and stay out of the way.
Stay out of the way. That's right.
If that would happen here, I would definitely not go out.
Yeah.
I would stay at home.
Yeah, I'm not being funny now, but if you ever find yourself in a situation that's something's gone really, really bad, and you just take a step back, just take a time, just don't rush into anything, stay calm, even make yourself a cup of tea.
Yeah.
I say respond, don't react.
Correct. That's what I tried to instill in this young lady who was having kind of a panic attack. Just focus on what's in front of you right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's true with anything. Like, even if it's like an argument with a partner, something like that, your immediate reaction is usually a knee-jerk one, and it's usually the wrong thing. If you stop, think about it, and respond logically, often it'll diffuse a situation.
Yeah, we've all been through that, haven't we, Mike? Because we're married.
Yeah, in hindsight, I think I was a bit out of order to get so angry with this guy. I think I didn't need to get that angry. So
it's spur of the moment. It's emotion. It's adrenaline in a way, isn't it? So it's not.
He's
not
doing
really
the wrong thing, and I said, "Oi, what you're doing," and then it's what he called me.
Yeah.
Which was, but still I could have. But I don't know, if we let people just step all over us, that's going to be another thing. Are you prepared for people that might start shouting at you, people that hey, Bob, you got loads of beans and you're not sharing your beans. Silly things, well, what might seem silly because what might seem silly to them is not silly for us, but
my usual reaction, because like I smoke, okay?
Yeah.
When I was outside of the coffee shop having a cigarette, and I'm way out of the way, and a wacko lady, a Karen, came from her parked car and started screaming at me that stinks, it stinks, and I just calmly kept smoking, and I learned this from my wife. This is the way you should react to a situation, because she combative patience all the time. Just tell them 2 words. Thank you. You're welcome. And I had to say that 3 or 4 times. And finally she turned around and walked away.
Good to see you, man.
And she's still screaming because I'm dealing with someone who's not mentally stable. And I just stood my ground. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. That seems to diffuse it a bit. That's a good reaction right there.
Yeah.
I think it confuses, doesn't diffuse. It confuses them. Like, why is this person thanking and saying you're welcome at the same time and to himself? Wait, what's wrong with this guy?
And why is he not screaming back at me?
I'll put money on that she was an ex-smoker, Bob. Probably. I'll put money on that she used to smoke, and that's why it
could be
riled up so much. But I mean, it's I don't know why people have a go at anyone these days. I think most smokers are courteous these days. Nobody lights up in a restaurant anymore, stuff like that. And obviously, even before the laws, people were courteous. They'd move away from people that didn't smoke. If somebody was eating right next to you, you wouldn't light up, So, yeah.
Yeah, and I know, Bob, because I smoke too. If you're going to light one up and there's people nearby, first thing we do, which way is the wind blowing?
Yes.
Because I'm not going to light one up and have it blow in everybody's face, and I'll be like, "Excuse me, I need to stand over here." What are you doing? Because I'm about to have a cigarette, and I don't want the smoke going all over. Oh shit! Okay, thanks.
I vape, and I still do that.
Yeah, well, that's,
like if I take a big puff of my vape, and it just at that moment, a mother and a child come out of a shop to walk past, I literally hold my breath till the mother and child's gone past, and then I'll let it out.
Yeah, that same lady, when she stopped her car, she had a dent in all 4 corners of her car, big dents. And
that wasn't her fault. It was all the other cars that got in her way.
Probably. I'm dealing with somebody who's not real stable, but dear, if somebody comes and yells at me about you have beans and rice, thank you, you're welcome. And I'll tell you what, seeing your way out of a situation like that is the best thing you can do. Just be polite and turn around. Hey,
second star, good to see you.
That can work both ways, Bob. That can rub people up the wrong way as well. When they don't get a rise out of you, they don't know what to do, right?
Yeah, it's not my means. I've just been tasked on standing guard and shoot anybody that gets close. What?
Gotta love a Karen.
Oh boy, that's Oh man. 25 feet away from the door, dude. I'm way away from the door. She just saw me and came right after me because she thought she could get away with it, and she probably wanted to goad me into a reaction. Is what she wanted. Of course,
See, next time, bring a tape measure with you. If she says 25 feet from the door, you just pull out a tape measure. Say, I already measured. We're good. Thank you.
Now, I'll remember the conversation as much as I can. She came right to me, 25 feet away from the door, and that stuff really stinks. And my first response was, "Thank you. You're a wealth of information." And then I remember what my wife said. Thank you. You're welcome. And she's still screaming at me. You're welcome.
Is that a law or is that like a store policy?
Oh, it's kind of like at workplace, like when I worked at Boeing, was 25 feet away from the door. You'll see it here and there, but it's just a courtesy that we extend. Smokers don't want to. We won't light right up in front of a fucking storefront. We don't do that.
She was probably hoping you'd take a drag and blow it right in her face.
That's probably what she wanted. And call the cops.
Murder.
Call the cops. Have a big drama. No, it didn't work.
Yeah. And Susan has a good point. I also think that people have a strong faith that governments and organizations will respond adequately in a crisis, so they don't need to prep. Yeah.
Nobody is coming to save you. You are your own first responder.
That's right.
Exactly. That is what we all have said for years now.
Yeah, the government's not going to help you get better. They're going to help you maintain your problems.
Yeah. They've probably got some kind of clause as well in there saying, well, there isn't a contract between us to say that we have to come and rescue you.
Yeah, yeah. The only time they will save you is when they've fully saved themselves and they are in a position to do so. And
Correct.
That's only if you're a good, honest taxpayer, because they need that tax money to rebuild.
That's true. I've talked to first responders, and they all said the same thing. Fire and police. I'm going home and taking care of me and mine first. For the first few days, you all are on your own, so.
Yeah, because the resources is needed elsewhere. They need to take care of the elders, the hospitals, and the disabled people who can't take care of themselves. And if you are a healthy person, you are responsible for your own
correct
preparedness.
No, I'm at the. I'll say it again. I'm at the point now where we've got. If something fails right now, we've got enough to hold on for a while, and I will promise you one thing, that the doors will be locked, and someone will be awake looking out the windows at all times. That's my plan. We're going to stay right here unless we get burned out. And then that's.
You can always run your neighbor's house.
What'd you say, Chef?
You can always run your neighbor's house for help.
Oh yeah, like those parasites would have anything. I guarantee you, 2 days after something happens, they're going to be at my door right away, guaranteed.
You need to give us. I don't need to do squat there. Get off my property.
Well, I learned from my wife, who's been through this stuff. She said, "Don't open the door for anybody. Don't open the door.
Door's open. That's their edge to get in."
Yep. Don't let anybody in the house ever.
I did like Mother Earth's comment you pulled up there for a second. Ronald Reagan, the scariest sentence is, "This is the government. We are here to help."
Yep.
I'd rather avoid all that.
Yeah.
Somebody said it on one of my channels the other day. You get the odd troll on that's clearly not a prepper, so God knows how I've ended up on their YouTube page. But they've put on there, the government's just going to turn up and take all your preps and make you share it anyway.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Nothing's food approved. They're not going to take it to feed their guys because they don't know what's in it.
If it's got to the stage where they're knocking on my terraced house door to get food and all the warehouses are empty, they ain't officials. They are no longer officials. If it's got to that stage, it's already beyond rule of law, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that a while ago, Mike. What some of the fake preppers, bullshit artists, they're going to take your preps or something. No, they're not.
Buy my special container that locks up and hides in your basement. They'll never find it.
Yeah. You're right. If somebody is dressed like a soldier and he's looking for food, chances are he took that uniform off of somebody who's already dead.
Yeah. Probably.
Look for the subtle red stain.
Yeah. Well.
No, Prepper for the Ages says, isn't there an old proverb somewhere saying, "When the world ends, don't open the door"?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, believe it. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, sort of like, wow, that sun seems awfully bright at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I'm not real worried about nuclear stuff. It's there, but dude, if that big flash cube moment goes off, I want to be right out in the middle of it. Because
no, you will get a nice suntan after that.
In the Air Force, they taught us extensively about nuclear fallout and especially chemical biological. Extensive education about that. You don't want to live through either one. You don't. You don't want to live through either one.
I do prep. I do prep for fallout and that kind of thing. Only based on the fact if it was direct strikes on the UK, it's such a small area.
Yeah.
it would be that kind of case. But I think more like if it's Germany, France, stuff like that, and the winds are favourable towards us, we could get the after effects of that kind of fallout. So I prep for that kind of thing, having to seal the house up and stuff like that.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get it. Europe's a different situation than here. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that was
Europe is a
one.
different situation. Yeah, yeah. But now the scariest stuff to me through our education in the Air Force was
John Knox put barbecued Bob.
Barbecue. Oh yeah, I mean, the scary stuff to me was the chemical biological attacks that that's scary because here's how it works. Say if it's a blistering agent or other agents, they explode in the air, and the toxin is mixed in with an oily substance, so it disperses in the wind, then lands and stays, and it stays there. So you may have your greatest chemical warfare suit on, and eventually you're going to have to take that suit off to eat, to shit, to whatever. What you're going to have to do is jump in a river and wash that whole suit off, head to toe, before you can even take your gloves off.
Yeah.
Because everything is going to be covered. So, but our chemical suits in the Air Force were the mask was very good. The rest of the chemical suit was designed for us airmen to get the pilots in the cockpit, get the airplanes to start up, and get the pilots out, because they wore actually a NASA suit, the pilots. And the guys on the ground crew, we knew that you're dead. We knew it.
Yeah, you've just got this one last job to do before you go.
That's exactly right. Yeah, get the pilot in the cockpit, get him started, pull the chocks, and get him out of there. Get the airplane and get the pilot out of there. But the rest of us, they told us that your suits that we issue you are going to last maybe, an hour or two, just a few hours, and then you're dead. It's like, okay.
It's good to know. It's like the bunker video I did when I spoke to the guys that run that museum, and they said it caused all the power's external to power the underground bunker. If it was any sort, even if it was a chemical attack or anything, somebody had to run outside, run across to the power thing, pull a lever, and run back inside, and hopefully they didn't get too exposed.
Yeah.
That was somebody's job.
I really honestly don't. If you're in a military target, like an air base, you could be exposed to chemical warfare. But the rest of us population, I don't think they're going to waste that stuff on the population. I mean, there's just not that much of it,
See, I see all these fear videos of the top 10 targets for Russia in the UK, or the top 20 targets for Russia in the States and stuff like that. And they're always concentrating on like London, Manchester, or, New York, or capital cities and stuff like that. And I don't think that would be the case. I could be wrong. I'm just speculating here. This is my personal opinion. Only because everything they do, they have to justify via propaganda to their own population.
Right.
If they're targeting infrastructure and military, it's an honest war, as you would say. If they're targeting civilians, they get demonized by their own population.
Right.
So Putin would never do that, because he likes to have that, I'm doing this because I'm for the greater good. Like he's running the whole Nazi propaganda versus Ukraine and stuff like that. So he needs to keep it that way.
Yeah, I pretty much prepare for things like normal power failure, ways to stay warm, more than one way to cook my food, and food stored up. So, and also, we're pretty well armed and well trained. So, in case the neighbors next door, when they start going through the DTs because they haven't had a whiskey in 2 days, and we're ready for that. Less than lethal, and you put you in the dirt. I'd say we're doing pretty good.
I'm as prepared as somebody can be legally in the UK.
Good. Yeah.
But somebody just said there in the chat, where was it? It's gone now. I've lost it. Our own governments will be the downfall of humanity, and that was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. David Workman says, "Get ready, folks. Wolverines."
Oh, boy, I hope not. I hope not. I think that my future is going to be probably a secondary way of clean water. You get more than one way of doing that, and I will buy another propane camp stove soon, because my camp stove is over 20 years old and it's starting to fall apart. I used to use it out in the shop here all the time. I want to get a good, new, clean, dedicated one for cooking food, the other one for out here in the shop. And yeah, we'll look into a few more things, but I'm doing okay.
Do you know them single hob camping stoves where they take a single like can of gas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've had 2 of them blow up on me.
Really?
Yeah. You got to be careful because there's so many cheaper companies manufacturing them on Amazon and stuff now. I've had 2 like I managed to get it out. Technically, I should have ran away in case the whole thing blew up, but I managed to get it out and stop it and that. But twice I've had that happen now on 2 different ones. So that's it. I've scrapped that now and I'm going with a better brand.
Yeah, that's why I was looking at the Coleman brand. Is my old one is not a Coleman. I bought it after the divorce and I was paying child support. So it's like down, but it's worked well for the last 20 years, but I'm going to replace it and bring it out here in the shop and then put the good clean one in the house. You know, the wife's does the same thing as chef's wife does, and those nurses are freaking germaphobes, man. Anything that's dirty, you know, oh God.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch of those. I get them we have like these stores that sell every type of food not American, you know, Chinese and Japanese and Indian and that, but they have this whole area of like cooking utensils and that, and they got some cool stuff. I buy those butane stoves, and I've never had an issue with any of them. And but I buy the cans of butane. Now it's not something for really good for long-term prepping in the cold weather. Those cans freeze up in about 10 seconds.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You're not heating anything up. I tried it out at my cabin. I was like, well, this sucks. So I pulled out the big bottle of propane and hooked up my propane stove. But in the summertime, they're great. I take them camping. I'm actually taking 2 of them with me out to Ohio here next week on Tuesday. And I'm only going to be heating up water, and maybe we'll have to cook hot dogs on the stove if it's raining too hard. But that's about it. And but I use they're portable. They're small. The little cans they look like spray paint cans.
Right.
The butane, and you get like 2 hours of burn time out of it. I don't worry about it. I have them. I have an extra one in the house with like 15 cans of butane just in case the gas goes out or whatever, and we have to cook inside. I'll cook inside with it. I mean, if it's wintertime, if it's not, I'll cook outside. I don't care.
There's a question there. I think Shallow's highlighting.
Yeah, it's Emily who asking. Can you drink brook water after doing what you need to do to drink it?
Yes.
Well, I guess it all depends on what Brooke ate before she made you the water.
Wow. I don't know. I don't know what country Emily's in, but
I don't know.
America.
New York.
All right. Okay. I drank canal water, which is probably the worst water you can find in the UK, because I used a reverse osmosis filter. Now, I'm not saying you need one of them, but no matter what.
But Mike sells it on his website.
But here it is, $59.99. Boil it. Listen, boil it is your number one rule, right? You can get all the filters and gimmicks in the world. They're great. They're wonderful. And some of them are really good and some of them are not so good. Gravity filters, all that lot, everything like that. But just boiling water is the key to survival. If you can filter it, even if it's through a shamag, into that, then you boil it. It will be safe to drink that way. Filters are a bonus, and tablets, purification tablets are a bonus.
Boiling and filtration, all that. My dog is doing his thing. The only thing boiling all that does not take out are chemical contaminants. So if you have a canal that's near a highway and there's broken down cars everywhere, I don't think you'd want to be drinking water out of there, even if you just boil it, because there's probably all kinds of stuff's been leaking out of those cars.
You boil that, it's going to blow up.
Yeah. Light it up. Let me see. Does my water burn? Yes, it does. I'm not drinking.
If your water sets on fire, don't drink it. It's a good rule to live by.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I just added a Coleman stove on my wish list. And let me look for. My wife mentioned to me the other day about water purification tablets, and I'll see what Amazon has for that. Let's take a look. Because she climbed Mount Opal several times when she was young, and that's all they took with them. They would fill up their canteen out of a stream, drop a water purification tablet in it, and swish it up, and seemed to work well enough for them. But,
Yeah.
Oh, there's all kinds of different tile sites. Yeah, portable aqua, $8 for a little bottle of purification tablets, and I think I'll get some of that. Take a look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the iodine tablets. You got the what's the one that? Crap, I can't remember now.
So this is the exploded one. Doesn't look exploded, but just so everyone knows, to avoid the brand, Yellowstone was the brand. And yeah, flames came up through here, through the gas canister, surrounded the whole gas canister. The entire thing was just up in flames.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So
that's the same style I have, but I mean that sounds like the fuel canister may have had a bad valve on it, so when you push the little lever down, it just started leaking everywhere.
It's the actual connection mechanism. So the spring arm that pulls it in is just not pulling it in right, and it keeps releasing and stuff like that. So this is why my other prep is not a $5.99 extinguisher from your local store. It's big enough to cover me.
There you go.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Bob, did they outlaw hail-on fire extinguishers? Because I remember I had a bunch of those back in the day.
I don't know.
Those were great.
I don't know. That's the type we used at. That's what's on airplanes is a halon extinguisher.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe.
A killer is all it is.
Yeah. All it does, push air away. That's all it does. Yeah. I don't know. Something to look into. I'll just add to cart some of these tablets to remind me to buy some of these. But yeah, I agree with you, Mike. Really, boiling water is a guarantee. It'll get you through the day.
Yeah. It's the number one over the other options. Everything else is a bonus. If you can filter it, wonderful. If you can, everything else you can do is great. But boil it. Just boil it.
Yeah, the lady who owns the coffee shop, she and her husband are into preparedness, and I asked her thoughts on water filters. And she didn't know what kind of filters her husband bought, but they had a bunch of Girl Scouts with them, and they were at a lake, and he took something out of the car and put it in the lake, and it was a pump, and pumped it and filtered the water and filled up all the girls' canteens for them right quick. And I said, "Do you remember what kind of a pump it was?" "I don't know. You'd have to ask Brady. I don't know." Oh, okay.
Em was asking about I think she said about how long the brook will last and stuff like that. I don't know if it's the same over there, but you can get the Ordnance Survey maps and you can trace it and see where the source is and see if it's coming from an artesian spring or whatever it is. Yeah. You could probably figure that out that way.
I know where all those are at near my house. I've already looked on the maps, and I've actually physically gone to them, and they're coming out of the soil. And the soil is one of the best filters you can get, coming right out of the dirt. Yeah, it's clean. I stuck my head down in that water and drank it right out of it. You're good to go.
Yeah, but there's a few places like that. On my walk, there's a few villages where the spring is that close. They've created a trough thing. And the trough is it's from the 1800s for horses on the way. But the water that's dropping into it before it hits that trough and that stagnant water, I got it was so clear. It was clear, crystal clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the weather here in Seattle is like the UK. It's rainy, so water is not too much of a problem for us here. But other parts of the states, it's a real problem.
Yeah, most of the water falling out of the sky by you is not really contaminated much, not like over on the East Coast where it's picked up all the pollution and everything else, and now that's raining down. Yeah, you still got to try to kind of filter that stuff out.
Yeah. I mean, at the worst events, they'll take a shower curtain and put it outside and, catch the rain and use that, to catch the rain. But
yeah. You need fire extinguishers for class A, B, C fires, ideally. Yeah. I mean, what was this one? That's my foam one. I do have a powder one as well.
Yeah, that's all I've got is the powder ones. Got one in each car now, and 1, 2, 3, 4 inside the house. And I also bought, this is a smaller fire blanket right here.
I got the fire blanket, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got 2 of those inside the house, one in the kitchen, one out here. And the big ones that are 40-inch by 40-inch, I got those in the cars now,
I'm ashamed to say I've got a fire blanket hanging up in the kitchen. I don't know what size it actually is.
Okay.
I'm going to go and look.
I was quite surprised when I got those from Amazon, and the wife was excited. She said, "Oh man, that's the best I've seen yet. Let me go unlock the car." She wanted that stuff in her car right now.
1 meter, 1 meter by 1 meter.
That's enough for your stovetop.
Yeah.
1997.
Yeah, next month I'll buy some more kit to provide stop the bleed kits for some of our churches. I've got 6. I can't remember how many churches I provided. I just donate it to the churches. I'll get some more of those together next month. The more people out there with some stop the bleed kits, the better off we all are. You never know what might happen.
After this weekend, you might have to restock the ones you already gave it to.
Yeah, it could be. You never know.
Do all the churches do that kind of thing? Or is it depend on who's running it? And
I'm just donating.
Right.
I don't I don't ask too many questions. I just, here you go, the tub with 100 and something gauze squares and some surgical tape in a tub with reflective tape. You can check my channel, Mike, and I've got a Red Cross on all of those tubs, and just go in there and here you go. I'd like to donate this to the church, and for emergency uses. And I've gotten good thanks so far. I don't ask many questions. I just keep it short. Here you go. This is for your church use.
Yeah, I was curious if they keep it in the individual church or if it's like a pool somewhere and it'll go out to other churches that might need.
Not sure.
Just curious.
I'm just kind of the mind, if I donate it, that's theirs. I unasked it. It's yours. You can do with it as you please.
Yeah, you just hope it goes to who needs it. That's the main thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Maddie, I've got some space blankets in the cars. Those are not the best thing in the world, but they'll get you through a pinch.
What's that?
Space blankets, those aluminum foil things. Yeah.
I've got a sleeping bag one as well.
Okay.
Evac do an emergency sleeping bag one, and it's just sat in my bag for ages, and I really feel like on one of these camping trips I should try it because I can't imagine being able to sleep in.
No.
That crunchy.
I'll tell you right now, those super thin foil space blanket things were a fad.
Yeah.
And if your skin is touching the side of that, the cold will penetrate right through.
Right, well, so they used one for me when I snapped my leg in 6 places. It was on a football field, an all-weather pitch football field, and it was at 10 o'clock at night. And it took 4 hours for the ambulance to arrive.
Oh.
And they covered me with one of them. It made no difference whatsoever.
No.
Yeah. I'd say they'd be good to keep you dry or keep you out of the rain. Yeah. It would probably be good for that. But
use them inside a really small shelter as long as you're not touching it. It will. They think it's shiny. It reflects. Well, heat reflects off of a surface. It doesn't need to be shiny like a mirror.
Yeah.
Heat is not light. It's just heat.
Well, it made no difference. I mean, luckily the lads just grabbed all the coats because it was when I ran a football team and they threw them on me. That did help. But yeah, it was a good opportunity for them to take a team photo. So now on one of my social medias, there's a photo of me lying on the floor with a leg snapped in 6 places and an entire football team behind me going.
Nice.
It's a great moment.
But I was really proud though. My son, he's in his 20s and he's a grown man, and I threw a get home bag into every car, snacks, different things, and I noticed that he got a new backpack. This was about a year or two ago, and his backpack is full. It's a big bulging backpack, and he takes it into his work with him. That's his get home bag. He doesn't leave it in the car. When he gets home, he puts the backpack on, brings it in the house with him. So he took the get home bag that I put in his car and he put it in my wife's car. He learned from the old man about readiness and he practices it every day. So it's like your actions you do affect other people. I was so proud of him to see him do that. I didn't ask him what's in his backpack, but I know he's got a pistol, but that's about it.
Yeah,
They probably have some useful stuff.
Yeah, because that's like I said. I used to take him, and he's my Filipino kid, and I got 2 white sons, and I used to take my sons out in the woods every weekend or every other weekend. We go hike, and I used to teach them survival, and he learned from me, and also he's got his own brain, I was proud of him for that. Really proud of him.
Mother Earth says, I pushed the alarms to make sure they work, and fire extinguishers have a date on them when they need replacing. Good idea.
Good thinking.
If you get one of the bigger ones, you can extend that date by having them serviced. So they don't necessarily always need replacing, but get them serviced regularly. That's the main thing.
That's good thinking. Get one of the big ones, Mike, because the smaller ones that I recently purchased, they're good until you use it and then you throw it.
Yep.
Do you know what to do, Bob? Look for any office or shop that's closing down.
Really?
Yeah, so when they get to the point of the last day of the sale, they'll sell you anything. I've bought security mirrors, and me and my friend have been up on ladders taking it down while people are still buying clothing in the shop because they will sell you anything on the last day.
Everything.
Anything. Oh, good.
So if they've got fire extinguishers, fire axes, anything like that, you can just say, how much of that?
Yeah.
When I was in the house, I had gallons of clean water every other mile between home and work. We lived in the woods and I worked in the city.
That's good thinking.
Yeah, it's a good thinking. If you have the possibility and opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
Just got to remember where you buried them.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, if you live out in the countryside, you have a better chance of keeping it. But I'm in the suburbs. That's not possible for me. Somebody will find it eventually and take it, whatever it is, a food bucket or water. Somebody will find it.
I would plan your get home route based on rivers and locations like that as well. Lots of people look at roadways and road maps and they think the quickest way to get home. But if it is really a Teotihuacan situation, you're not going to be at full steam going down that road. You're going to be trying to avoid crowds, stuff like that. So look at riverbeds and river paths for your route home.
I agree.
Yep. Yeah, I can't foresee any big end of the world thing coming. But for me, most of my stuff is set up to where even if it's an extended period of time, we don't have to leave the house. That to me is the most important part. Stay right here at your home base, right here. You know, we got a roof that don't leak. We know the area on foot. Just stay right here.
Depending on your situation, your location, bug-in should be number one choice unless you are literally going to be at ground zero. That question that was just up before there, Shadow, about the brands. I mean, the only thing I can testament for the ones he's mentioned is I've got a one Tigris sleeping bag, and it's the closest I've had to a military spec Arctic one. So it's really good. It's a bit tight. I think I might need a larger size. But when it comes to brands and stuff,
no problem.
Most Army surplus is really good, to be fair. And you'll pay a fraction of the cost.
Will do, Susan. You're most welcome. Thanks for stopping by.
Some good sleeping bags.
Who's that?
Snug Pack.
I've seen them. I've never tried one, though.
Yeah, they make some really good ones. Do some good sort of jungle blankets. Jungle sleeping bags, base sleeping bags. They do cold weather sleeping bags that you can join onto other sleeping bags.
Yeah, in my situation, my wife and my son both are in healthcare, so I can imagine that I won't see either one of them for a while because they're going to be in a hospital, you know, doing what they do. And usually hospitals, they've got a policy to where they're going to reserve some rooms for the staff to stay there and free food for all the staff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what is in my mind. If something kicks off, I know my wife, she helps people. She saves lives. She will go to a hospital and I won't see her again until she's released, you know. Same with my son. They'll go. They will go.
Speaking of sleeping bags, there is another good brand, but you have to pay at least $350 for that sleeping bag, and it's Carinthia, if you are familiar with that brand.
Carinthia? No.
No, not heard of that.
But yeah, Mike, I'm glad to hear you're going to be getting your own home soon. Good deal.
Yeah, it's a temporary stop though because the land is still the goal. The off-grid land in Scotland is still the goal. So, but it's I'm going to have a garden. I'm going to have a place to grow some stuff. It's
good deal.
You know, there's work involved, but it's definitely in a better situation than I'm in now. And I'd probably be more inclined to bug in as well than I would right now.
Yes.
In where I am, where it is as well. It is a housing like estate, like a new build estate we have over here, but it's in. So the river goes round like this, and it's in the arc of the river. So I've got water on three sides.
Excellent.
And then one entrance to the estate. So I'm thinking bigger picture. That's a nice choke point if it had to be.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah. But if you can, I'm also into home security. It's all over my channel. What I did last summer, I got some 8 mil thick vinyl sheeting and I put it all over the windows on the first floor. That stuff really does give you a peace of mind. And upgraded the doors and on and on.
Metal sheeted front door on this already, which is a nice bonus.
Good, very good. Yeah, yeah. My front door it's a steel door, and then I bought on Amazon. It cost about $100 to. It's about a 4-foot long piece of steel to put on the door frame, and everything's got 4-inch screws, so it goes all the way into the 2x4 studs. I do the same thing with the hinges too. That's one thing to keep in mind. But just put it aside as project after project after project, you know.
Yeah. I often replace the screws if it's a new build. I'm replacing the internal doors anyway, because I don't know if you have them over there, but over here, in like when companies are trying to save money, they've got these doors that are basically corrugated cardboard inside.
Right.
It's two
right.
very thin sheets of ply with corrugated.
It is.
Yeah.
That's
and you,
what's in my place.
if you fall over, you're going through the door. Which I don't understand why they do it. For £35 at B&Q, you can get a solid pine door. So it's a no-brainer to replace them ones. But yeah,
that's what I've got is hollow core doors on the inside of the house. But still, I bought these locks that you just pull it out and clasp it on. It'll prevent someone from being able to get in for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And we're armed here, so what I did that mostly for is all the doors on the inside of the house have those locks, so that if I have to draw down on somebody, it's mostly for court.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Your Honor, I fell back and he kicked through that door, and I fell back to this other door and he kicked through that door, and that's when I lit him up. That looks better for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's why I did that.
Somebody on my chat, I think I don't know if it's in here or it's on the chat on my live, but somebody said a really good idea, which I'm considering as well, is by the front door, they've drilled like a 1/2-inch hole, goes about 6 inches deep, and they've just got a steel rod right in front of the door. So you can put the carpet back over it, and you can't see it. There's nothing there. But in a situation, you could pull it back and drop a rod in, and that's going to stop that door opening like massively.
That's fact. Good thinking.
I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah,
I've good ideas. It's a good idea for people if they know they're going to bug in. Sorry, Bob. Just
go ahead.
Just to reinforce your house. Go around your house. Look at your windows. Look at, are they easy to get into? Can I reinforce my doors? Can I reinforce anything else around the property? And just do little things. You can do things like putting bars on the inside of windows. Sorry, Bob.
It's a great point, Daryl, as well. I don't know if anyone's seen, we've got the little window locks, like the handles have its own little lock, so you can't move the handle. Has anyone ever tried to open them without the key? It's so easy. Don't trust that as your form of security.
Yeah.
You can open it with any bobby pin, any key that roughly fits. It just...
So I like the sliding screen door on my house has a little key lock on it. It's like, it's a screen.
Yeah, you can push through it.
Really?
I know.
Why did I pay $30 extra for the locking screen door? It's like, oh, it's locked. I can't go in. I'm sorry, I won't bother you again. All I know is in the States here, any house built post, depending on the code, most code in areas, they require, I forget what size plywood, but on the corners of the house for structural stability, and then maybe around certain doors. The rest of the house is literally vinyl siding, insulation. The sheeting's not even sheeting; it's just foam. It's the vinyl siding, foam, maybe some regular insulation on the inside, and sheetrock. That's it. Yeah. I could literally break into my own house with a friggin' pocket knife.
At a gentle run in the right direction, you just go.
Just don't hit the studs. Yeah.
This is on my back deck, but I've got rhododendrons and other shrubs around the back deck, and you can see how I've trimmed the rhododendrons to where they're see-through, they're transparent, so that I've done that with all the shrubs around the house. I trim them from the bottom up to about 3 or 4 feet high, and then just put basically don't allow anyone a place to hide.
Yeah.
They could squat down out in your backyard and wait for you to go to bed or wait for you to go to work. That's usually when they break into your house, is when you're at work.
Yeah.
That's when they break in, guaranteed.
That was the thing back in the day. People had the old Garmin GPS in their car, and they would program home into their car. And so people would get in the car, steal the GPS, forget the car. They don't want the car. They steal the GPS, and if you have they love seeing an automatic garage door opener. They steal the GPS and steal your automatic garage door opener. They get in their car,
Bingo.
they plug in home. It takes you there. They hit the garage door button, boom, they're in. And the neighbors don't know because they see the garage door open automatically.
That's smart.
You don't even. I mean, that's the old GPS systems. With your phone now, if you travel from one place to the other so many times, Google assumes that's your home and that's your work. I've never programmed them in, but if I hit work, it takes me to the work address.
Yeah, mine doesn't. I don't use Google. I don't use Google Maps in mine. Now it might, but I don't have Google Maps loaded. Yes, I use Apple Maps, but I don't need my home plugged in. I may plug the address in sometimes just to see which route it's going to take me there for 3.5 hours. And once I get within 50 miles, I know where I am. It's like I just shut it off.
I'm terrible. I will know a route like the back of my hand, and I will still turn the sat nav on.
I do it sometimes just to see what time I'm going to get there.
Yeah, and it's a more accurate speed limit than the speedo on your car. If you didn't already know that, it's because it's GPS located. So you can be doing 73 according to your car, but if you look at the sat nav, you're doing 70. That is the more accurate one.
Oh, mine doesn't tell me that. It just tells me the speed limit on the road. And I mean, my car. Does it
bong at you if you go over?
You know what? If the speed limit, if you're 3 or 4 miles an hour over the speed limit, and they want to give you a ticket for that, there is what they call the margin of error. As tires wear out, your circumference changes. You don't go as far as your speedometer's off. Yes, you're acting faster than what it's really going, but they do the median. I used to work at a Ford dealership. Yeah. So they do the median. So they do medium wear on a tire. That's what the speedometers are calibrated at. So when the tires are new, you're going a little bit faster. Not much, like maybe 2, 3. And when they're smaller, they're doing like 2, 3 slower. When they're in the middle, which is most of the time, they're pretty accurate these days. Not the old speedometers back in our really old cars like me and Bob had, like, Pintos and Vegas, which were whatever they were. It's like, I think it's close. You don't know until the cop pulls you over. Do you know how fast you're going? Well, the speedometer said 55. You were doing 65. It's like, I guess my speedometer's way wrong then.
Yeah, so do you guys have an unofficial 10% rule here kind of thing?
Yeah, that's pretty much what we got.
So if you're going 54, then they're not going to prosecute. If you're going over 55, that's 10% over that 50 limit. So that's when they'll... Yeah.
Oh. I want to present something there, Shadow.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There we have it.
You saw that where I showed you where the rhododendrons are at, and I've got a deck. I got a deck on the back of the house, and I took those bird spikes right there.
Yeah.
Because you can jump from the rail of the deck up onto a little ledge, and then get right into my upstairs windows. I took those bird spikes and I put those at the bottom of my second floor windows that are within reach, because trust me, a criminal will do anything.
Yep.
So those work real well. They're a deterrent.
Are they solid?
Yeah, they're stainless steel. I got them on Amazon, and I painted mine bright orange and yellow so you can see it from a distance.
Yeah.
And that's a real deterrent right there. Yeah, somebody who's really, really, really determined to get into your house, they could go through that with an axe. But, once again, with a thief, if you put enough visible things right out there, they're going to go, I'm going to the neighbor's house. I'm not messing with this place.
Yeah. There was a psychological study of I think it was in the States as well, and it was front gardens on a nice suburban area, and the only houses that had been burgled had nothing on their front gardens. The ones that hadn't only had a tiny white picket fence or a little chain link fence, something you could step over, literally.
Yeah,
right.
But it was the illusion of looking at that compared to one that had none.
Really?
Yeah.
I know they did the same thing with if you put the security, ADT used to be a good security company. You put ADT stickers in your windows, and if somebody's just walking by, just scoping out, they're going to see ADT. They're just going to keep going. They're not going to call and find out and try to figure out if you really have it or not. They're just going to be like, "Now screw it, I'll go to the next one." Oh, they got no stickers in it. Okay. Oh, they don't even have rose bushes by their lower window, which is 6 inches off the ground. That's a good one.
They're getting really ballsy over here. I lived on a terrace house on a main road, and this is through the day, opposite a big supermarket when I was with my ex, and somebody walked into my house.
Oh,
right, literally opened the door and walked in, and as he stepped in, he saw me on the couch, and I jumped up and went, "What the?" And he turned around and he walked off, and he goes, "Sorry, wrong house," and carried and like scarpered. And it was only because we know the neighbours 2 or 3 doors down. He'd done that to her handle. He'd been going down the street trying every handle. This is middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, they do that to cars at night around here.
Apparently, they're opening the door, and if you've got coats...
If it opens up, they're going to go rooting through everything you got. They're going to take cell phone chargers, whatever they can find, coins, anything in the console. They will root through and steal tools. My neighbor used to love to leave his truck unlocked. I don't think I should have to lock it. I'm like, well, you're just stupid. And he had the cops over there like 4 times in a year. And the sheriff, and I walked over there the 4th time, sheriff's out there, and the guy's out there going, yeah, man, they stole this, they stole that. And the first words out of his mouth was, your car locked? No. I said, Steve, are you going to lock your doors one of these days? You're just going to keep buying new equipment for your business.
Please tell me he didn't tell the insurance company that he left it unlocked.
Oh, no. The cop asked him that, so it was in the police report. So he didn't
reason to lock it, insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that happen. April 19th, 2016 at 10:30 a.m. I had my garage door open at the last place we lived, and guy walked right in. Yeah. Career criminal. And yeah, same thing. He walked right in, and he couldn't see me from the front of the garage. And I'm sitting there at this desk, and he stopped and went, "Oh, fuck." And I stood up and I went, "Oh, fuck is right." And these guys are so brazen. As he walked away, he's waving at me, going, "See you later, buddy. Have a good day. Bye, buddy." Pretending like he belonged there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a whole saga after that. But I had that's one time when I called the cops. The other times the junkies tried, I'd just wave a handgun at them after that. After that, I kept a 45 right next to me every day. And I open carried in my house from 2016 until we moved. For years, and I had a sidearm on my hip. But yeah, when the cops got there, they showed me a 6-man lineup, and I picked him out, and he goes, "Yeah, that's who we thought it was." And they already knew him. He had been released from a felony detention center out on the peninsula that morning. And within the afternoon, he'd already stole a car. He'd robbed several stores, and and he's going to go back to prison again because I fingered him, And to that guy, no, he lives in prison. It doesn't matter. But I'm lucky because this guy is a career criminal. If he had to jump me, he would have beat the shit out of me, man. I mean, real fast, because those guys.
That's why you keep those on distance.
Yep. Those guys in prison, they fight constantly, and I would not. I would have got hurt bad,
I've just been cut off. This is my last wine.
Uh-oh, that's because the bottle's empty.
No, there's still half a bottle, but she's just said, "You're driving at 5 a.m." I was like, all right. Okay,
it's an electric car.
Good
Just tell the
point.
car where to go. You're fine.
What would we do without the wives? Yeah.
Not get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, that's true.
Honey, you can't keep hitting the snooze button. It's now 20 after 5. Get up. Go to work. Okay.
I'm that guy that sets 6 alarms.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm getting angry at every one of them.
The alarm goes off, because if my alarm goes off and it wakes my wife up, she's just angry. So now my eyes just open. It's like, okay, 1 minute before the alarm. Screw it. I'm getting up, and I make sure I shut it off before it starts, which doesn't wake her up after she worked 3 12-hour shifts in a row. And I just quietly go downstairs and do my thing and leave. And she eventually comes downstairs, and she'll text me. She's like, "Good morning." I'm like, "Yeah, good morning. I'm already out and about." She's like, "I know. Thank you for not waking me up. You're welcome."
the factory that is about 300 meters that way could blow up, and my missus would still be asleep. So really? I don't have that issue.
Nah, mine wakes up with a flea fart across the street inside the house.
Yeah.
And then she gets mad when she sleeps in on like a Saturday and it's like 10 in the morning and the window's cracked open and the neighbor's cutting their grass. Like, why do they have to cut their grass? I'm like, honey, it's 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. When do you want them to do it? At 2 in the morning on Tuesday? But, you know, I love her to death. 35 years on Monday.
Right on. Yeah.
We might have gone off topic again.
Yeah, talking about wives. Yeah, complaining about wives is an easy topic. Yeah.
It's a normalcy bias about our wives.
It is. It is.
That's it. General resistance to prepping. No, she doesn't resist. She lets me do it. And am I ready? I'm ready. Is she ready to let me be ready for her? Absolutely. Yeah. That's all that counts.
Yeah, we've got a good deal in my house worked out as I've got a Boeing pension coming in and a portion of my pension goes to prepping. And if I run out of money for that, I'll just go, hey, I've got my eyes on this. Well, how much is it? Yeah, so-and-so. She just get on her phone, transfer, go buy it. It's a good idea. Go buy it. That's the deal we got worked out.
Yeah, and I have to ask for forgiveness on mine. What was that charge for $87 at Lowe's? You didn't need anything. It's like, that was the plywood I needed for making the covering for the back window that got smashed out during the storm. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Me and my partner now had been together 3 months, and it was Christmas, and I got her the usual stuff that you get, you know, a missus at Christmas, you know, smellies, all that lot. I unwrapped a crossbow. That's when I knew she was a keeper.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
I
nice gift.
Yeah, it is. You guys in Europe who can't own firearms, man, those crossbows. I had a crossbow. I threw it away. It scared the shit out of me, man. I am not joking because I had a limited space to be able to practice with it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you fire a bullet, it stops in the target or maybe goes through. But
oh, no, a bolt will bounce off of everything and come right back at you.
Oh, fuck me running, man. I mean, more than once that thing bounced off of something and it went down the alleyway. Like, shit on this, man.
But over to my right is a kitchen breakfast counter that there's a lovely little hole in. Because not the crossbow she got, the big one, but I got one of the pistol ones, and it was only like 50 pounds draw weight, and I thought, oh, that's nothing. So I set up a little target and I put some cardboard behind it. That should be enough. Straight through that.
Straight through.
I had to open the kitchen pan cupboard, and one of the pans had stopped it. I was like, best not do that again. Quick, this is an outdoor activity.
Put a chair in front of it and hang a picture over the hole. Yeah, she'll never know.
I admire those things because you guys in the UK and
hey Joseph, good to see you.
Got a draw bow or a crossbow, if you can work together well with your neighbors and something goes sideways, you guys could team up and protect an area with those. I guarantee you. Anyone who sees an arrow go through another man's chest, if they're an intruder, they're going to turn around, dude.
Yeah, because they didn't hear it. They don't know where it came from.
All of a sudden, you know, here's Jimmy Scumbag.
Yeah, with an arrow sticking out of the back of his going. Right.
And anybody who's watching that's not had any experience, top tip, it's nothing like The Walking Dead where Daryl magically reloads every 2 seconds.
No, it ain't.
It takes some weight, it takes some force, it takes some time. Get one practice, try it.
I tried shooting with crossbow. Mm-hmm. It is not that easy.
That's why I
practice.
You guys team
it takes
up.
Practice.
If you get a half a dozen men with crossbows, you guys team up. While you're reloading, this guy's over here is ready, and I'll send another bolt. You know, and you can do quite a bit of harm with a half a dozen guys with crossbows,
especially if you have broadheads on them.
I've not taught Mrs. Urban Prepper to fire, but she knows how to reload them all quite quickly.
Good.
So she's going to be passing. Yeah.
What kind of mini ones you get? A Barnett?
I've got a mantis.
Okay. Yep.
I've got the same one.
Yeah. I've got the mantis, and then I've got another one which was cheaper than, I can't even remember the brand. It was really cheap. I wanted to get it to test it, and it was only like £15 from the prepper shop, and that's the one that put a hole through that. Because I thought it was so cheap it wouldn't do it. I was like, okay, this is a keeper.
Just buy some extra strings for it.
Yeah, definitely, and maintain it and get the
Arms?
wax. Yes, I got. No, she got the one that I've got. That she got me for Christmas from Anglo Arms, I believe.
I think that's more than £50. That's an £80.
What, price or pull?
Pull.
Are you talking about the mantis? Are you talking about the mantis one?
Yeah.
No, I got the mantis, but then this other one was like £15 on some special offer. It wasn't. I don't know what brand. I'm going to find out what brand it was.
Is it the self-cocking?
Yes.
Pistol crossbow.
Yeah.
By Mantis.
I've got the mantis one, which is really good, and then it's another one that's similar, but like a cheaper version, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Gecko. It's called the Anglo Arms Gecko £50 plastic pistol crossbow. There you go.
Can you do the bolts come with the thread on tips, or are they solid?
The ones that came with it are solid,
right?
But you only got like 3 with it. I've got like 4 boxes of 20 upstairs for that one. So,
of target tips or ones with the thread on?
Full bolts. The thread on ones. Yeah, so I can change them out. Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
So the cheaper one was the Gecko. Sorry, correct me.
Yeah, the Gecko was the cheap one. Yeah,
because my Mantis is marked at £80 pull.
Yeah. Yes, that I've got the Mantis. That's a really good one. I wish I'd got the upgraded one, because you can get like a sight on the top and a foregrip and everything, can't you?
All right, fellas, I'll be right back.
Yeah, hey, it's a couple minutes of here. I'm gonna bail. I still got to unload my truck and start repacking it for camping. So I'm gonna bail, and I will see you guys next week. And Mike, I'll see you whenever you go live. Probably.
Nice to see you all. I've got to shoot as well.
No problem.
All right,
see you later,
no problem.
Nice one, Shadow, for having us. Nice one, Chef.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure.
Mike.
For real, have a great day.
All right, later, guys.
Good night and God bless.
God bless.
Thanks, Shadow.
I'm looking for the one that she got me, and I can't remember the name of it.
The sad thing is, here in Sweden, you need license for crossbows.
It'll get that way here. We've had too many incidents where that's going to happen, if not a full ban at some point. We shall see.
Yeah.
I figure if they're going to bring in licensing, it's much easier to apply for a license for something you already own, because if you then want to buy one after the licensing come in, you've got to justify the reason for having it.
Yeah.
Or buying it as such. And which one was it?
You need to be a member of a crossbow club to get the license for a crossbow here. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got 2 archery clubs near me that I've been to. I did some lessons because I thought, you want to do it properly. But when I was looking around for it at first, there's a lot of archery clubs that won't let you use a crossbow.
Yeah.
Because it's certain targets, they reckon it damages the targets and stuff like that. So you've got to be careful and find the right place. But I really want to. I enjoyed archery, but I don't have an actual bow. So I really want to get a bow. That'd be fun. Yeah, purely for sporting purposes, people, not for anything sinister.
Yeah, I would like to have a bow, preferably a long bow.
Mm-hmm.
Around 80 pounds. 80-pound longbow.
I really want to test and try out the bores, the stealth bores, where they pack down into like next to nothing, into a little pack this big.
You mean the SAS
yes.
survival bow?
Yes, like that. I really want to try one of them. Just to see how good it actually is.
Well,
I'm interested in SAS survival bow myself. So
I'm glad you brought up that single burner thing there, Mike. You know, advice like that is worth $1 million from real experience. Yeah. That's the stuff that we need to hear. This, you know, do reviews like this is a piece of crap. Don't buy it. You know.
Yeah, and it would be so easy for me to say this is from Amazon. Here's an affiliate link. Go and buy it, and I'll get a little, you know, couple of pence commission and stuff. But I don't want somebody being in a situation where they need to use it and being in the same, losing their hair and their eyebrows.
Mm-hmm. How dare you have morals? How dare you? Yeah.
I'll never be a millionaire, Bob. I'll never be a millionaire.
Like the first water distillery I bought, you know, for purifying water, I put a couple of videos out about it, how to use it, and then it just failed. And I put up right out there, this is junk. It's don't. And I went to a very simple stainless steel one, and it works like a charm.
Yeah, you've got to have the morals to do that, because I copied. Yeah. So I copied to test it one of CP's make your own MREs videos, right? Mm. So making a meal like a stew, and then putting it in the Mylar bag, and then boiling it in the bag, and then sealing it up and stuff like that. And it's a cheap way to make your own MREs in the last 10 years, blah, 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 blah. Here's don't forget to buy everything from my shop, that kind of video.
Yeah.
And after 3 days of me making this video, putting it out, I went to check them, and 3 of them had inflated. Like, because the gases that were being released, and so that would have been toxic. That would have killed somebody if they'd ate them after a while. So I literally changed the thumbnail for the original video to put a big red X on it, and then I released another video to say, this was wrong, I'm sorry, I've tried it, here's the results, don't fucking do this.
Perfect, yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing this stuff on YouTube for about 10 years, and I've got, my channel's monetized, but I don't have my email out there for advertising. I just choose not to do that, because that makes YouTube from a hobby into a job.
I mean, I just try and do it honestly. So I get companies, do you know, I get regular updates, emails from companies, usually in pidgin English, you know, not really very well written, to say, we want to send you this product, and you test it and stuff like that. And I reply, I've got a standard reply now saying, you're more than welcome to send me this item. I will give it a full, honest review. But if it is bad, I will say it's bad. If it breaks, I will say it breaks. If it's terrible, I'll say it's terrible.
Good deal.
But feel free to send it me, and I'll do an honest review on it. And out of about, let's say this month alone, 10 emails, 1 company has sent me the item.
Yeah.
Because the other 9 have gone, best not send it then.
Yeah, I had a couple of years ago, I got an offer to do a review on accessories for an AR-15, and I replied on that email and said, sorry, dude, I can't get in the accessories for an AR-16, AR-15 into Sweden, and I can't do a review without proper rifle. And I can't get an AR-15 here. I can't. That's impossible.
At least that was kind of on topic. I've got companies going, we're going to send you this product for you to do a review on. I'm like, you've sent me a massage gun. What kind of channel do you think I am? At what point can I introduce this to a prepping channel? It's still in the plastic. That's like, what am I supposed to... Get your preps now. Don't forget your muscle recovery when you're prepping, guys. Using the massage gun.
Yeah, but I just chose with my channel not. I don't do the memberships and all that stuff, but because my pension's adequate, it's good, and it's like I don't want to turn YouTube into a job.
Well, I mean, you've got to balance that fine line. I've seen people that have stepped over the line and gone, right, I'm going to go full-time YouTube. And these are not people with millions of subscribers. These are people quite low down. And it just, you can see the stress that it puts on them and the strain it puts on them. I'm still working my job 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
I'll continue, unless YouTube happens to grow to a scale where it is covering all my living expenses. I'd happily leave my work if it was, but I'm not going to leave it and try and grind at it like it's some sort of job, because it doesn't become fun anymore. I wouldn't enjoy it.
That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah.
I come on Shadow's stream. There's no monetization or gain for me at that. I'm not on here flogging my merchandise or anything like that. I do it because I enjoy the company, I enjoy the community, and I enjoy doing this. Yeah. And I don't want to lose that.
Mm-hmm. Same here. Yeah, that's why I do this. Yeah. I'm gonna go, guys. I'm gonna get a few things to get done here. But I'm glad to hear that the missus did not go down to Portland, Oregon. So thank you. That's too risky of a place with all these protests going on right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it is better to stay out of their way.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go as well, Shadow, because that's the last.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace. God bless, guys. Take care.
Great to see you again, Bob.
You too.
See you then. Thank you, Shadow. Thank you for having me. I've got to be up at 5 a.m. for the car boot sales and the grafting and the grinding and all that.
It's a pleasure. So, it's always a pleasure to have you here, Mike.
Thank you very much. Yeah. No more insulting my knives, I hope,
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
What was the knife, before I go? What was the knife that you showed? Because I think that kind of knife, because it's got the serrated back and then the straight blade, I think that's what they've banned in the UK. It would be classed as a zombie knife. Yeah. See, the serrated edge at the top has got to be less than 3 inches. Yeah, that's got to be less than 3 inches. That is literally banned in the UK now.
Okay.
But it is really nice. I like the little fish hooky bit at the top.
It's a Colombian Raptor survival machine.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice. I was like, I can't compete, so I'm just going to get a bigger one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it was so-called collab, short collab.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. I was just surprised. I was like, what? I didn't even know this was a thing. Thank you for having me. Anybody watching over on my side, there's 34 of you still. Don't forget to come and check out Shadow Scout Swede. Subscribe to his channel. Follow his content. He puts regular videos up, and he's a awesome guy, so I can't say.
Yeah, I can tell you how many views I got on that short collab.
Yeah,
3,551.
And he's getting more views than me on shorts, so there you go.
And that is 2 days and 9 hours.
There you go. Well,
so that's good.
Well, you just have to insult me more. This is how you make it big.
No, I did it for fun.
I know. Thanks for having me, Shadow, and I'll see you again
soon.
You're
very welcome.
Goodbye.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was an interesting collab short video I did. That's not a knife. This is a knife. It was a fun thing to do. Hmm? So I think I wrap things up now, guys. Yeah, I ran for 4 hours and 9 minutes. Thank you, Ace. I appreciate it. Have a nice day, guys. Stay safe. Be part of the solution, not the problem. Strength and honor. Thanks for stopping by, Tammy. And thank you. Thank you, Jill. I appreciate it. Yeah. That's all for today. Good night. Dear loves as well. Good night. I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, Emily, most people left their butts off. When I see that short, yeah. And let's see if we can end this.